Spyderco's 2020 reveal has several new knife offerings from the manufacturer. Among them is the new Ladybug in K390 steel. We're going to take a closer look at this new knife and answer the who, what, where, when, and how about it. Let's go inside and take a closer look at the new Spyderco Ladybug. Welcome back to Blade Insider, where we discuss all things knives. In this episode, we're going to talk about Spyderco's new version of the Ladybug knife. Specifically, we're going to discuss who designed the knife and who's going to want this knife. We're going to talk about what the knife is and how it's different from the standard Ladybug knife. After watching this video, you're going to have a good idea if this knife is for you. The Ladybug was designed by Sal Glesser, the founder of Spyderco. Spyderco started out of a bread delivery truck in 1976. Sal and his wife would travel to county fairs in this truck selling knives and knife sharpeners. He tells the story of traveling with a microscope and studying the edges of knives. Even now, Spyderco designs their knives from the edge out. In 1981, they started selling their own designs with the idea of opening the knife with one hand, without buttons or springs. After trial and error, they began to design their knives with a dip in the blade in order to gain traction. This dip evolved into the distinctive Spyderco hole, which is in each blade. Here at Blade Insider, we put out new content each Sunday. Hit the subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Also, if you enjoy this video, hit the like button and encourage us to make more videos like it. The Ladybug was introduced in 1990. At first, it was targeted only for the Japanese market. There have been 3 generations of Ladybugs. The first generation was from 1990 through 2007. The second generation was a combination of the FRN handle and a sheepfoot blade with serrations. This lasted from 1998 through 2002. The third generation was introduced in 2007 and included a modified handle shape, VG10 seal, and enlarged Spyderco hole. Some of the blade steels used on the Ladybug include AUS 6, AUS 8, VG10, H1, ZDP 189, and HAP 40. Over the last several years, VG10 has been the primary steel used by Spyderco for the Ladybug. The 2020 version of the Ladybug is now offered in K390 steel. Under the recent Knife Nerd Steel Edge Retention Study, K390 ranked in the higher end steels with a score of 720 compared with 475 for the VG10. This is due in part because of the chemical makeup of the steel. K390 has 9% vanadium in it compared to less than 0.3 for VG10. Vanadium increases strength, wear resistance, and toughness for knives. This increased toughness will be useful for this knife. One of my sharpening clients has a VG10 Ladybug. One day the knife fell out of his hand and landed on its tip on cement. This slightly bent the tip and required me to reprofile the knife. This reprofiled knife is as good as new, but the bent tip probably would not happen with the K390 steel. So who is this knife for? They're a significant part of the knife buying population that still purchase traditional slip joint knives. They love the idea of taking a small pocket knife, putting it in their pocket, and forgetting about it. The portability of the knife is much more important to them than one-handed operation or knife steel. This Ladybug is for that group of people. It weighs nothing and slips very easily into your pocket. It's a transition knife from the traditional slip joint to the modern knife because it's just more portable than slip joints and can be operated with one hand. It also has a back lock and comes in super steels. Let's go to the bench and take a closer look at this knife. Taking a closer look at this knife, we can see just how tiny this knife is. The scales are FRN with the bi-directional molding. It is an integrated scale, meaning it's one piece. So we have the pivot and a screw, but no back screw. This makes it a little harder to take apart to do maintenance. The knife has a back lock and jimping on the top of the scale, as well as jimping on the ramp of the blade. The blade itself is a flat grind blade with a Spyderco hole. There is no inner liner in the scale. At the back we have the keychain or the lanyard hole. The knife is capable of one-handed operation, both to close and to open. Let's run the tape on this knife. The overall length of the knife is 4.45 inches. The blade length is 1.97 inches and the closed length is 2.48 inches. The blade thickness is 0.079 inches and the knife weighs 0.6 ounces. We're now going to compare this knife with some other knives. First, compare it to the Delica and the Ladybug's bigger brother, the Dragonfly. Next, we'll compare it to a Case Median Stockman. Next, the Opinel number 8. And finally, the Benchmade Bugout. You can see how the Bugout towers over the Ladybug. Next, let's take a look at how this knife fits in a pair of jeans. Well, first, taking this, it fits very nicely in the watch pocket. No part of it is sticking up. Also, this knife will get buried in your pocket. Stick it and forget it. You're not going to feel it because it's so light, and it's not going to bang around your phone, keys, or wallet. The Ladybug is a great everyday carry knife as long as you can accept its limitations. It's ridiculously small, so it will be limited in its uses. It's not suitable for heavy tasks. It has an integrated scale design, which makes it more difficult to take apart to do maintenance. Also, it has FRN scales without an inner liner, so you're not going to be using the knife as a pry bar. The knife can be used to meet about 75% of your everyday carry needs. It's very pocketable, and you'll never notice it in your jeans or if you carry it in the watch pocket of your pants. The K390 steel is a definite upgrade over the VG10 and will hold its edge much longer. Finally, let's talk about value. The VG10 version of the knife is about $43. The K390 version is about $60. Now that's a lot of money for a keychain knife, especially when compared to other knives that you can buy for that money. However, there's really nothing comparable to this knife with its premium materials and size. Also, at that price point, it's very comparable to traditional slip joint case knives with a lesser quality steel. So the final verdict is in favor of this knife. It really fills a need for a small and very pocketable modern knife capable of one-handed operation. So what do you think? Do you prefer to carry a small, stick it and forget it knife? Do you have a Ladybug or other keychain knife? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and get notified of our new videos every week. And please hit the like button. We'll see you next week.